Let me tell you, before you even start, you know it's your show. Every single time I always think about what you're just about to ask me.
Yeah.
It scares me.
What I'm about to ask you?
As in what you're going to talk about. Mental health and getting yourself out of these situations.
Yeah.
My heart jumps.
I get what you mean, and I think that has always been there ever since we started connecting. You remember? Yeah, there are times probably we'll get a deep dive into a conversation and then you wouldn't want to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's
I would say I am more of it over it.
Yeah.
But the feeling is just the same.
Yeah, it can't.
Because every single time I speak about it, I kind of feel like it's happening right now.
Yeah, it brings back the memories. Exactly. It can't go away completely. But slowly by slowly, the more you talk about it, and also the more you talk about it with people who you feel safe with, the more it will feel normal and the more it will feel comfortable.
Let me ask you a question. What do you mean people I feel safe with?
People
that's also a perception that people also carry around.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if we are friends, it's harder for me to speak to you.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But I get what you mean. Can I say something about friends?
Yeah.
I think the society has kind of molded us to think acquaintances are friends. Acquaintances are not friends. Friends should be somebody who they know your naked story. They know something deeper than your surface, where you work, what you make. People, I think a friend should have information about you that they can use against you and bring you down. You get what I mean?
I'm trying.
Yes. So like a friend should be someone who you feel safe in the sense that you are 100, if not is 180% sure that this guy will never judge me. This guy will never use any information that I give him against me. This guy will never take advantage of me. This guy will never leave me. You get it? You might not be there, but okay, in case I need help and I call on Cass has my back.
Okay, so do you feel the need of introducing the show now?
Now we can introduce the show. So, welcome to Naked Ego Podcast. This is a space where men are willing to strip down their ego and have real, authentic conversations and vulnerability. Jay. So today we have a very interesting guest, Jay.
Yep.
Jay, I'm not saying this to kind of sound angelic like, but ever since from the first time I met you, and I could see your pain, and to some extent I couldn't really figure out, I couldn't give you a solution that worked for you. I knew this is because I've had similar experiences with my brother, my younger brother.
Okay.
So when I felt that with you, I felt like you were a brother to me from the word go.
Okay.
And that's why for me, all along, I've always been your cheerleader.
Yeah, true that.
I've always been your cheerleader. And I did everything possible to try and do something for you. And I kept telling you, you know what, Jay, one day you'll wake up and you laugh about your troubles.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah,
I told you laugh about your troubles. And I said that because I've lived that life. I've been in shambles. I've been in dark places. And I came out of those dark places. And when I came out of the dark places, I was laughing. And I saw everything that you are telling me was not new. And I was like, how can I convince this guy the same thing you're telling me is not new?
Yeah, exactly, because you can't.
I can't.
Yeah, you can't.
So I was like, I'll just love and care for this guy from whatever space you give me. Because even at that time, you were not 100%.
I was holding back a lot.
Yeah, and I could see it, and I could see you're holding back, and I couldn't tell you. Because I was also kind of scared. If I tell you you're holding back, I would push you away. So I was trying. You are one of the difficult person I've actually ever dealt with when it comes to mental health.
Yeah, because for me, it cuts more deeper than probably what you saw.
Yeah.
And most especially, even what I'm going to speak about today is probably not even half of the things that you had through. Yeah. I had to go through certain processes by myself for me to be able to be comfortable and be able to speak about it, because I think mine began way too long ago.
Yeah.
Extremely. I think it began when I was 11 years old.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, that's where my mental health began.
Yes.
And my biggest weakness or my biggest strength was I was always okay. Whatever happened to me, I was always okay. I always didn't want to put people in problems. I always didn't. Every single time you ask me, I was always fine.
You never wanted to be a burden.
Never wanted to be a burden to anyone.
Yeah.
It was eating me up. So as a result, this is probably not common to what people hear every single day.
Yeah.
I created different personalities.
Yeah.
So there were like 3 people living in me.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah, I had massive mental, physical, split personality, whereby I could be 3 different people at the same time. So I would tell you a story as this person, and I will tell you a story as this person. 3 different people living 3 different lives, hurting in 3 different ways. So the only difference was it was in one body where all this was happening.
And I'm so happy that you are aware of it from the word go. Because you even told me about it.
Because I was able to manipulate it. That's why.
Why did you not manipulate me though?
Because I got to a point I needed to let go. Cassandra, it was way much bigger than what you thought. I know you don't remember, but the one thing that my biggest strength in life, leave alone my problems and other things, is I remember things by looking. In details, by looking. I would come here and probably tell you how many seats are here and where the opposition, as in such details I would remember. The first time we met, it was in the gym. You didn't know me, I didn't know you. We used to train together, but you didn't know me.
It was
Physicton.
The Ruaka gym.
The Ruaka gym. That's the first time I'd seen you, because I'd seen you training there plenty of time, because we were there. My problems had begun. My serious mental health had just begun the beginning of the year, when now Corona began.
Yeah.
Because remember, my entire life I've been running away from things.
Yeah.
I've been super busy. I considered myself a super hard worker, perceived by people's eyes. But I wasn't a hard worker. I was filling a void. I would rather be here for 16 hours, go home for 4 hours and sleep those 4 hours, have to think about nothing, be back early in the morning. To you, you perceive to me like this guy works hard.
Thank you so much for bringing that out. And for people who are out there, who have their partners, their husbands, their brothers, who they perceive them to be hardworking, they need to be aware of this.
Exactly.
It might be totally the opposite. Exactly. That guy is suffering and is running away from stuff.
I would work extra hours, extra shifts, and remember, my entire life, there was no day that I sat down.
Yeah.
I would rather forfeit my leave days and get paid for it, and I don't go for leave days.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that was occupying. If I get even a week's leave day, I would find things to
suffer.
do. I would find things to do.
And run away from
it. Because I'm running away from myself, from the problems that I had. Because remember, Cassandra's, from the age of 11, I think 10, 11, I have been physically, sexually abused, as in I've been through a lot of mental instabilities. But these are things that happened to me. Yeah. I can't say by my parents or my siblings or anything, by the society. Yeah. But I was not bold enough to speak about it. I was this quiet kid, never said anything. If anything happened to me, it's fine.
It's fine.
To everybody else, it's fine. If I tell you something and you brush it off, I am done. Because that's how I learned also to lock people out. If you also didn't realize at some point we lost communication is because I kind of feel like I exposed myself too much. Because I was still
To
going.
me.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've never spoken to someone the way I spoke to you. Because the first time I saw you is when we were in the gym. I didn't know you, you didn't know me.
Yeah.
It was a transition of whereby I was doing my physio. Because the beginning of that year is when I had an issue with my nerves. So there was a transition of whereby I was healing from my physio and I was just there in the gym.
Yeah.
To the opposite, I would rather be in the gym the entire day, do nothing, free will, help out people, but I'm not going home.
Because if you go home, there are problems.
That's a problem.
There's something waiting for you.
There's something waiting for
You'll
me.
have to think about things.
That particular day that we were in the gym in the morning and then I went home. Going home, you are being interviewed in your place in the balcony, and I cannot forget you're wearing a short.
Yeah. With Betty.
Exactly.
Betty Chalo.
So I wasn't watching. Actually, literally, it was my son who was through YouTube. And then, you know the way YouTube runs?
Yeah.
Then continues the next video.
Yes.
I think he had put YouTube and then he left.
Yeah.
So by the time I was getting home, it was just that video that was playing at that particular moment.
Wow.
And is when you were speaking about your story, about your mental health. Then you said, even that YouTube didn't literally change my perception in terms of what you do.
Yeah.
When you said, check out my Instagram page, we do mental health for men. So I went to your page, I looked at it, the videos that you had made, that is where my turning point was.
Yeah.
So everything in my vein was just telling, you need to talk to someone. And I had no idea who I had to talk to. So in my head was, if I talk to this guy, he's a stranger, he deals with mental health, probably he will not judge me.
Yeah.
No matter what I'll tell him, whatever he thinks, let him think. Probably just get a perception from this guy.
Yes.
And then I go back to my old self. He will never see me. We will never meet again.
Yes.
At least I have had, let me say, consoling. I was consoling myself.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
yeah.
You
So
just want to tell yourself you're doing something.
Exactly. So the following, I think it was a day or 2 days later, when I came to the gym, I came and approached you. It was never Instagram.
Oh, we talked at the gym.
Exactly. I came and approached you and told, hey, I saw your video and I was really inspired by it. And I followed you on your Instagram page.
And then we exchanged numbers.
You said nice stuff. This is how details I remember. And nice stuff. Really? Yeah, you okay? You told me I'm fine. Then the following day I came again is when I told you probably if you have time we could talk. And then we exchanged numbers.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know where you got this Instagram story from. You have been DM'd too much.
Too much.
You're actually confused about it.
And actually, I'm totally the opposite of you. I don't remember stuff in detail. I've had more than 3 head injuries. I can't remember things in detail. It's so vivid.
For me, I would forget your name, but I would tell you everything, even the watch and everything, how you are on that particular day.
I can't remember that.
So for me, I am more visual when I see things.
When you see stuff.
Yeah. So that's how I get by a lot of stuff. So even technically, even at work,
yes,
I would remember something that I did even 3 months ago on a particular date.
Tell people what you do, bro.
Jay. Sorry, this is when you're introducing me. 33 minutes later into the interview.
This is a freestyle conversation.
No problem. I'm Jay. I'm a single father of 1. I have been a single father for the last 16 years. I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm a chef by profession. I began my life as a DJ at some point, but professionally a chef. I'm currently at Nairobi Street Kitchen.
Yeah.
As a sous chef stroke kitchen admin. So thank God about it. So if you have time, probably you should even be doing this podcast in NSK. We have amazing artifacts and settings.
We will come. You will come. We will come. It's guaranteed. And just, you've said you're a father of 1. For people who for fathers out there or people who just he's one of the people who loves his son
To death.
to death.
To death.
Like I remember when you're actually going through your experiences, I remember I told you, I think you should find a place where you can take your son and then deal with your struggles first. But that advice did not sit well with you.
Let me tell you, Cassandra, for real, let me just be honest, you said it's an open platform.
Yes.
You were talking to the wall that day. There was nothing you're telling me. People get it wrong when you're in a mental health state.
Yeah.
Cassandra is between, that is when I understood. Mark you, probably it will even shock you.
Mm-hmm.
The same day we spoke is the same day I tried taking my life. The same very day. I remember taking more than 15 pills of Piriton. I woke up more than almost 48 hours later.
You told
After that was after the same day,
same day.
we had that conversation. Now that I can speak about it, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Mental health. And the one thing that we've always been advocating for is disability.
Yeah.
I believe 95% of men in this country are disabled.
Get what you mean? I get what you mean, bro.
Totally disabled.
I get what you mean.
But we are in denial.
It might not
because,
be. It might not
because
be
it's not physical.
Yes.
Because it's not physical, we
Yes.
are in denial.
And that is the biggest problem that we have in our society. The people who have physical disability are going through so much because it's visible. But there are people who actually are worse off than the people who are physically disabled, but they can get away with it because you can't see it.
Trust me, 95, as I told you, percent of men in this country are disabled.
Yeah, I
And
get what
it's
you mean.
only that you come to an acceptance that, because for me, I dictated how I wanted people to perceive me at any particular moment. In terms of the conversation that I'll have, in terms of how I will look on that particular day, I dictated on how, even in terms of the conversation that we
would have.
I had
remember
already pre-planned everything in my head, what I was going to tell you.
Like you would lead people certain direction.
Exactly. So even counseling for me wasn't making any sense. I knew exact words that you're going to tell me.
Thank you for saying that.
Reasons being, because I'd already manipulated the conversation in my head.
In your head.
And I knew what she was going to ask me. I knew what I was going to answer. I knew what she was going to tell me. I knew she was going to tell me it will be okay. It will be fine, A, B, C, and D. Or if you do, I knew
some affirmations here and there.
For me, just literally come, listen, look at you, convincing my head that I'm getting counseling from this particular person, but it wasn't doing anything to me. Because for free, I would tell you, it is more spiritual than what you see in the eyes. Mental health is more spiritual.
Yes.
It is your spirit that you're fighting against.
Yeah. It's a demon.
Exactly.
It's a demon.
Like, I would want you to try out something. There's something that I figured out through my mental health journey.
Yeah.
Just close your mouth. Call out my name.
Now?
Yeah, close your mouth and you call out my name. You did that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
No one in particular.
But you had my name. You must have been telling someone.
I feel like I was calling you to have a conversation.
No. You called my name, but I didn't hear. But you had.
Yes.
So Cassandra's had.
Yes.
That means there is a voice inside you that speaks to you.
I get what you mean.
There is someone in you.
Like there's like a spirit or that, like there is a you that exists inside you that is not your physical.
Exactly, because there was no projection of the voice, of the vocals that we could hear.
Yeah.
But you said you had.
Oh, yes. I had
so
myself.
who are you speaking to?
Yeah.
That is you now yourself.
Okay.
You see, when people make jokes and say that I was having a meeting with myself, literally you are having a meeting with yourself.
Yeah.
Because that inner voice, when you sit down and speak to yourself, do you listen?
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the whole point. Because I said words, but I didn't open my mouth. But I heard the words.
Yeah.
So who heard the words?
You yourself.
Exactly. So that's why when I tell you mental health is more spiritual
Yes.
than even what we see in the eyes. Because
It
it's
attacks your spirit.
it's only that voice decided to call Jay. You would have thought otherwise.
Yeah.
It attacks your spirit. It's bigger than us.
Yeah. It's bigger than our physical
Because
self.
that same spirit would tell me what to tell Cassandra's today.
I get what you mean.
That same spirit would inflict fear
Yeah.
in me. That's the first time when I told you, when I started speaking, the first thing I told you, every single time I speak about it,
Yeah.
my heart jumps. Why was I fearing to speak?
Yeah.
Because there's a certain
It's the
force that drives me
Yeah.
not to do it.
So,
So for me, someone telling me, because the one thing that I was being told, and probably for anyone who will ever see this podcast, is that the only one advice everyone was giving me was, you have a son, what will happen to him?
which should not be the case.
Cassandra, what about me?
Yeah. I get what you mean. Which should not be the case.
Because that's the only thing, the only normal thing the society can tell you is, you're a father. What are you going to put him through once you decide to take your life? Forgetting one thing, if I am not okay, he will never be okay.
That is so powerful. What you're trying to say is the definition of a man is never based on what you do for yourself.
Exactly.
It's what you do for others.
Exactly.
So you take care of other people. You pay for your siblings' school fees.
Exactly.
You are there at your work to do stuff. Like, it's never based on you.
It's never you.
And actually, the sad thing about life is, in life currently, if you perform, if you deliver at work, not excellently, but you deliver at work, and if you're at home, you're the good child, you take care of your family, you take care of your siblings, at your circles, you take care of your friends, people will celebrate you, and people will never take time to ask you how you feel.
Exactly. So my whole point is, if I am not mentally stable,
Yeah.
I cannot be able to take care of anyone.
True.
If I do not take care of myself, I can't take care of my son. That's
can't
the
take
whole
care of
point.
anything.
So the first point is me being okay for him to be okay.
Thank you so
How
much.
can I be mentally unstable? You're expecting me to think about someone else. It's impossible.
Can you say that again? Because the main reason why women end up going through depression is for one of the reasons is because we try to hold on to so many other things so that they don't crumble. We hold on to our businesses, we hold on to our relationships, we hold on to how people perceive us, we hold on to our ego so that these things don't crumble. And because we're holding on to them so much, we lose ourselves and we ourselves crumble. So I think one of the most important things that men should get from this podcast today, men should be willing to let go.
Exactly.
If it's your business, let it go, let it crumble. If you fix yourself, you can fix that business.
Every single thing.
If it's your family member, let them go. If it's your job, let them go.
Thing.
So people should be willing to let everything go. If we hang on to it so much, we are killing ourselves.
And we're spoiling it, and we're spoiling everything in the process.
Yes.
Yeah, everything in the process. Because before I came to understand, for me to be able to pass whatever the society claims I need to do my parental duties,
Yes.
I need to be fine to begin with.
Yeah.
I need to be mentally stable for me to be able to
do
take care,
anything.
to do anything.
Yeah.
I need to be mentally stable for me to work.
Yeah.
I am working 16 hours for what?
Yes.
To cover up for the things that I don't want to think about.
Yes.
You see, there's a void. There is so much that happened.
You're
in my
running
life.
away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so much that happened in my life.
Yeah.
I was not seeing face to face with my family.
Yeah.
I'm thinking my mom thinks about this, perceives this. And what happened to me, Cassandra's?
Yeah.
I started doing the exactly opposite.
Yeah.
Now I would do things that would irritate them. You say I'm A, B, C, and D. you've not seen anything yet.
Why?
Because I remember even me putting, because I have so many tattoos in my body, the first time, because I knew that is the one thing that would pain you the most.
Oh, it would hurt them.
Yeah. So put a tattoo and then you speak about it, I add more. You speak about it, I add more. You speak about it, I add more. For me, I was living your life, not my life. Forgetting that I am using these things. But for me also, tattoo plays a big symbolism in my life.
In your life.
Because the pains that I've gone through.
Yeah, okay.
I enjoyed that pain.
That pain, yeah.
Covering up for the pains that I'd gone through. Because I was in school whereby probably for the first time, maybe anyone, even whoever will get this podcast will get to, will ever come to hear about this. I was in school whereby I was physically, sexually abused. But every single time I looked for a way out. Went home, the first thing that I would tell my parents is like, I want to leave this school, but I will not give them the proper reason as to why I want to leave this school.
How old were you then?
I think 14, 15. There, I remember my first sexual harassment, I would say, per se, is when I was 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
Because we used to have this house help and she'd always make me have sex with her every single night. That's the thing. That's when now the seed began. In my head. And I didn't understand. Remember, at that age, I was not even at an age whereby I could ejaculate. You get?
Yes.
So my sexual, my body was...
Your body was not ready for
all this.
It was not ready to
I was being
perform.
exposed to things that, and at the same time, threatened about it.
So she would threaten you about it?
Threaten and get beaten about it. If I would try, because I remember she used to have some certain electrical wires that if my mom, she's not around, she would hit me with it. And it was a painful journey. So I carried a lot and I felt like people didn't understand me. You get? And every single time I would say, I would always be told that I'm looking for attention. No one would believe me. I grew up with a lot of anger and hatred.
For everyone.
For everyone around me. So the only other thing was to shut everybody out of my life.
This started when you were 15?
This started when I was 10, I think.
When you were 10?
10 years old.
Holy.
10 years old. Man, I knew how to masturbate when I was 12. Because I'd already been introduced to this sexual act and then this person leaves.
Yeah.
My body is asking for something that I do not even know exactly what is happening.
Thank you so much for bringing that out. For people who get abused and the abuse stops, do you know, because toxicity is so it's so addictive. Toxicity is so addictive. So for people who get abused, and when the abuser disappears, you kind of want to give yourself that.
Exactly.
Your body wants, your mind wants that. So as much as the abuser has left, it doesn't mean that it's now, okay, now we need to celebrate, it's done. No, it's never done.
It's actually created, I usually say, a portal.
Yes.
Open up a door.
Yes.
That cannot be closed.
And it can be worse.
Exactly. It'd be worse because of, remember, for me, my beginning of high school and my primary, it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
So communication and getting help back then was totally different. You just swallow up things and bottle up things and you're fine, you're okay.
Yes.
I got into high school in an era whereby monetization and...
It was big then.
Exactly.
It was very big.
From being sexually abused from home,
yes,
and then getting sexually abused again when in high school, it
was a boarding school.
Yeah, boarding school now creates trauma.
Holy moly. And then in high school, did you talk about it? Who did you reach out to?
I could not say the particular words because remember, Cassandra, I was 10 years, I was being threatened over these things. And someone made my mind believe it's okay for someone to do for me this.
Yeah, they're old, they have a right.
And I am saying this with no fear and contradiction, because it's the first time I'm speaking about it in my entire life. Like I've ever sat down and told anyone, because no one believed me. So whatever information that I would give in suggestion to whatever is happening to me would be either brushed off or being told I'm looking for attention.
Yes.
You get?
Yeah.
Or probably this is just your way to find your way out of that school.
Yes.
So what happens? I decide to keep quiet.
Keep quiet.
It goes on and on and on.
Yes.
It creates now a different person completely inside me.
Okay.
Now that's character number 2 came in. The abused character.
Did you ever feel like, when you grew up, did you ever feel like you also needed to abuse other people to feel the power?
What usually happens is, okay, for me it was different, because for me it was creating a wall. I would not physically abuse you or emotionally. I physically abuse you, but I would emotionally torture you.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
I would want you to go through the same pain that I went through.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get what you mean. Yeah, true.
So
Makes
remember
sense.
also it created a person that now has no trust.
You never trusted anyone.
So character number 2 has been built up. This is a person who was abused, sexually abused and physically abused at that particular. So there was me and there's this character now.
Yeah.
In comes the third character, the third person in me now. Now rebellion. It's like now I am fighting back. But I'm not fighting back in words, or I'm not fighting back for justice. I am fighting back to make people now feel bad.
With your actions.
With my actions.
Okay.
I changed from this kid that never speaks into a monster. I got into drugs. I started smoking weed. I was smoking cigarettes. I was drinking when... By the time I was finishing high school, I would literally torture people's kids in terms of... Because now I'm trying to get back to people who do not even exist.
You're trying to get even.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And either way, I became so vengeful, hateful, hatred, rage, anger. I would come home and wish everyone died, if I was in that particular moment whereby if I was called and told probably your parent has passed away, I was 100% sure at that particular point I would say I would feel nothing. That is that time how I was feeling.
I know what you mean, man.
Because it was extreme for me, and there is no one to talk to.
There's no one to talk to.
And there was no one that I could project probably A, B, C, and D.
I've been abused too by my boss. So when I finished college, I started hustling here and there, and then somebody called me for a very good opportunity that I couldn't say no. From the word go, I went in there, and then I think this person was very smart in the sense that he knew and understood my struggles. So he knew I'm really working so hard to find something that works for me. Like I wanted to build a life for me. This guy had lots of money. So he showed me money. He said, this is the money. For you to get this money, you have to allow me to do A, B, and C. I was desperate at that time. I couldn't say no. Do you know why I couldn't say no? I didn't have anyone to run to, because everybody was pushing me to go and get a job and make something out of it. Like everybody, my family wanted me to find a job and start being a man. That was the force that I was getting from home. And the environment that I'm going to be a man and to make something out of myself is the environment that is abusing me. So at that time, the first time I said no. And then I discovered how smart this person was. I was like, if I say no, I'm going to lose my job. If I say no, I'm not going to get paid. So I was like, you know what? I subscribed to it at that moment. And the abusing kept going on and on and on. And it was so funny because so many of us in that office were being abused. So many men in that office were being abused. So you couldn't complain to anyone in that office because he's suffering. So I remember my boss kept complaining, you have anger issues. And then I was like, I don't have anger issues with anybody else except you. But I wouldn't tell him that because I would sit and self-analyze. I didn't have anger issues with anybody else. Anybody else would insult me. I didn't have the guts and the power to fight back. But for him, anything tiny and small that he said unto me, I felt like I should go and punch him.
And the problem is we project it to other people who are also not involved in this situation. Because what I believe is, because that's my greatest weapon was I created a wall. And trust me, it was not a pleasant sight behind that wall.
Yeah. Because
I became a totally different person.
Yeah.
Cassandra's, I was this guy that would go out in clubs just to look for fights. And not because I want to beat someone. I want to get beaten.
You want to feel that pain.
Exactly.
Holy moly.
I just want to get into a fight to get beaten. I go home, I am bleeding or something has happened to me. Or I'll be nursing that pain for 3 days. It was like an adrenaline rush of...
Yeah, it's a release.
Yeah, I was addicted to pain.
Yes.
Because that's the only thing that I knew.
Yeah.
Was pain.
That was the only language.
Exactly. Like anything would happen to me. Like, bro, you've broken your leg. I'll be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It will eventually heal.
Yeah, you can't empathize.
No way.
Empathize with anyone.
Now the problem is, if you come to me with your situation, I will not sympathize with you.
You can't.
Because that feeling has been shut down.
And it's not because you want.
Exactly. And I don't even know exactly what I've done. So remember, there was now me, there was now this abused, those are already two different people. And now there is this other person who is like a monster now.
The rebellious guy.
The
bad guy.
3 guys who we used to have, if it was in this era, our subgroup would have an admin and,
Yes, and 2 members in there.
And, people take it like as a joke most of the time when I tell someone has a split personality. It's literally you're having 3 people in you. Because those are 3 seasons of your life that you will behave totally different. And you will not understand each particular season that you're behaving. For me, there is one guy who got through me, I think, because let me just take you a little back of how now I came to discover my mental health and me getting out of it.
Yeah.
Because I think I spent most of my lifetime hating and believing that everyone is hating me,
Yeah.
So for almost 10 to 15 years, I've been working throughout. Trust me, I have, like the perceived hard worker, I have moved to every single... I started like a commis chef. I went up to an executive chef position. I got into an operations manager. I got into an F&B manager. That is where I was by 2019. Yeah. I was getting Cassandra's before Corona. Literally, I would get picked from home and dropped home, and probably my suits would get picked up at the end of the month. Every single month I get to... That is the point and level that I'd gotten to in my life. Because I knew now I have it all. I have the weapon now to destroy the people. The people who hurt my life.
Yeah.
You see, now this is twist of events.
Yes.
My life was comfortable and all that. I could give my son anything. Yes. We would make funny trips. I remember even in his 13th or 14th birthday, we literally closed down trampoline center. I paid 100 and something thousand just for him to have that day in trampoline center in Village Market.
Alone?
Alone, and his friends.
Oh, and his friends.
As in strictly, there was no any other person. Just pick your friends and you'd have it. I thought those are achievements in my life.
That's your ego, actually.
Exactly.
That was your ego talking.
Exactly. I thought those are achievements in my life. Now, when I think a few days before Corona, remember, this is 3 years, I have never gone for any leave.
Yeah.
I've transitioned between jobs from one job where I was an operations manager, and I did the pre-opening for that place.
Yes.
Moved to a place that opened, it was in Millionaires Casino. It was now they're opening up the biggest casino in Eastern Central Africa. I come in as an F&B manager. It's a pre-opening, and the amount of work that you have to do as for pre-opening is crazy. Super crazy. So I was standing and working for more than 16 hours, 16, 17, 18 hours. 3 years I've never gone for leave. I've been working sleeping 4 or 5 hours in a day. That was my life. Then all of a sudden, I decided, out of anger,
Yeah.
and I didn't know where it came from, depression, anger, fatigue. I just woke up one day, got to work. I know what, I completely normal duties, got to my office, sat down, woke up, went to the HR and I told her, you know what, I'm done.
You didn't even think about it?
I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't even think about it. My mind just got there and I got in, clocked in the normal way. Because remember, we used to call, before I leave home, I would call the casino.
Yeah.
Then the receptionist would organize a driver.
Yes.
Driver would come and pick me from home.
Yeah.
So I called, they came, picked me up, I dressed. My mind knew I was going to work.
Yeah.
When I got to work, I looked at everything. Because I remember one feeling, I felt like I've achieved it all.
Yeah.
There is nothing for me now here. Just woke up, went to the HR and they said, you know what, I am done. I am tendering my resignation as from now.
Yeah.
She was shocked. She was begging me and she was like, probably, dude, take a few days off. Probably take unpaid leave, just go think about it. I'm like, no, my mind is made up, I'm done. And I'm leaving. So I picked up and left. Cassandra's, I didn't know what I was going to do. So whatever money that I think you think I owe you, you can take it. Whatever you think belongs to me, give me.
Yes.
If possible, give me today. I don't want to come back here tomorrow.
I'm done.
I am done and I'm gone. And I had no plan and I didn't even know I was going. So immediately I left because I remember I usually say, God can never deny you everything. I was denied favor when it came to love and family and all that.
Yeah.
But God gave me a favor called job. As in, I would leave from one job and get another job.
Another one.
Immediately I left, somebody called me, I think 2 or 3 days later, and told me, you know what, there's a job in Ethiopia. And they want, they actually said they want an executive chef. So I asked arrogantly, so how much is the pay? She was like, no, you have to state your pay. So they were like, by then, he was telling me, so for this job, probably you'll get 250,000, you get a car, you get a house, and this is what you're getting. I'm like, even better. So I decided, you know what, since I've not had leave for 3 years, probably take a break. That was now in January 2020 when Corona started, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a holiday.
Yes.
I told them, give me 1 month.
Yeah.
I sort my things out. I sort because I knew if I was going to go to Ethiopia, because this is me.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, I relocate.
Yes, you move.
So I was going to move to Ethiopia and I was going to move to Ethiopia with my son.
Yeah.
So just give me 1 month, I figure things out
Yes.
before I make a decision.
Yeah.
That is when my life changed. I think after that phone call, the same night, the same vacation I never went for. Cassandra, I went to bed the same way a friend was saying, just feeling, I thought it was fatigue.
Yeah.
Just tired, my body is not, just all over. And I remember even having the same conversation with my son and he told me, Baba, it's fatigue. You work for very long hours. I'm like, it can be.
Yeah.
So I went to bed and I told him, and abnormally, because usually we'd stay up late.
Yes.
I went to bed and slept. Woke up in the morning, Cassandra. My body from here to here, nothing was moving.
You can't feel.
I cannot feel. Literally, the way you'd say I would feel my toe, and the only part I would feel is my stomach. I cannot wake up like this.
Wow.
And I was not feeling pain.
You're not feeling pain.
I was
You
not
can't feel your
feeling
body.
pain, but I'm not feeling my body.
So what goes on in your
So,
mind?
first of all, tears just started rolling down.
Started crying.
Yeah. Because what I thought at the beginning was, it's either I've gotten a stroke or I've gotten paralyzed. Completely, I tried. The only thing was my stomach. So I called out my son, came, called out some few people, took me to the hospital. I knew this is it. This is like the end of my life.
You're done.
Remember, my entire time from when I was 10 years until now, I have never had time whereby I just sleep and do nothing. I was always on the move. I usually believe God got me into a situation whereby he like, dude, you need to sit down, relax, think about these things. There is so much going on that you're not looking at. So I went to the hospital. The problem was, by the time they could figure out what the problem was, my mind had already locked. And every single event that had ever happened in my life started unfolding from that moment.
Yeah.
It's like I had a backlog of things that, like, now they're coming.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I was abused. I remember every single word I was being told by a particular. I remember how I was told how worthless I was. I remember I would never make it in life. I remember always the mistakes that you're making. Those were every single day things were coming through my mind from that moment. It's like a movie was being replayed in front of my eyes.
It's because you have been working tirelessly, endlessly. And you working tirelessly and endlessly is you running away from those comments.
Exactly.
And when you work so hard, those voices when you work so hard, you're kind of turning them down.
Actually, it's a part of my brain that had shut down.
Yes.
That does not now exist.
Exactly. Now you're having a good time, you're working so hard, everything is working out for you.
Exactly.
And now you're not working. Now all these voices are becoming louder.
It's like a door now had been opened.
Yes.
Because now my mind has wandered already, it's done.
Yeah.
So what's remaining? There are things that I left.
Yes.
So
yes.
there are things that are not been dealt with.
Yeah, you did shut a door with things that they
So
needed.
that is when that door opened. Yeah. And that is when depression checked in. I started crying for no reason. I would wake up because I remember after that I was run for couple test. I was told what really happened was because the strain in my lower disc, in my spinal cord.
Yeah.
So there was like an interchange of now it was through my mind whereby my brain left and right there was a confusion. You see, like the way you'd sleep, it's like a car.
Yeah.
Then now you wake up.
Yes.
Instead of you waking up normally, it's like your brain reboots.
Yeah.
You get?
Yes.
So the left works on the right works on the left.
Yes.
So there was no coordination in my in the nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And that nerve was getting the signal from
your brain.
My brain. So there was no coordination. There was like a mix-up of information. So he's why...
He's waking up, he's still sleeping.
Yeah, that is why when I woke up that morning, I was paralyzed, my body halfway. Because there was no... The left and the right side, they kind of interchanged. So they had to be corrected. Because I remember from that point, I would literally go to the toilet and pee, and I would feel how that pee moves from my body, my entire body, from my toe to... Because my nerves were not yet, because they tried correcting the nerves. Remember now, this guy working for all those years. I'd saved a bit of money, and now I am spending money. Remember now, I left this job. Once I left this job because I had the medical insurance, it does not now work.
You're not covered.
I'm not covered because I'm no longer an employee.
Yeah, you're paying cash.
Did I even bother to check if my NHIF card were ever paid? I didn't even bother. Because why? And I had a medical cover which would cover me almost 250 outpatient.
Yeah.
And probably almost 1M in inpatient.
Yes.
Now this guy, you've left a job, you have your little savings, and now you are not medically covered. That is when I was going mad. That's why I told you, mental health is spiritual.
It attacks your spirit.
It attacks your spirit because it came for me. And I saw every person was against me. Including I had rage for the first time towards my own son. I would make noise. I was venting, but I don't know why I'm venting, and I'm venting it to him.
He's the only outlet available.
Exactly. Because now I started moving him. You know what? You need to go stay with so and so. Because I didn't want him to see me as weak.
That state.
Yeah, that state. I would wake up, cry, and not once or twice I even thought probably stabbing would be enough pain for me to die, you know.
Yes.
And when someone gets to that particular level of depression, trust me, nothing around you matters. you don't see tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no afterwards. The only thing that you experience at that particular point is the pain
yeah.
that you're going through.
Because
You are worthless, first of all. Is it even worth for me to live?
And also for people just to really understand, when you get into that state, all your brain does, your brain only processes your pain only.
Exactly.
People will come into your space, into your living area and tell you, you know what, you have a very good job, you come from a very family. Your brain doesn't process that.
You know what it says?
Yeah.
You keep on talking.
Yes.
Once you're done, you will go.
Yes.
Because that's exact same thing what happened to me was like,
Yeah.
every other person that talked to me was like, yeah, I had a sister-in-law of mine who probably we share a little bit more.
Yeah.
She understands some of the things that I've gone through.
Yeah.
So we talked, but for me, it was like, it's like her talking to me was like me giving myself advice. It's the same things that I know. and the same things
I remember you told me, like,
Yeah.
you couldn't feel the connection between the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so vague.
Yeah, for me, also me sitting you down having that conversation was because I knew you are a stranger in my life.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want someone to look at me with a judging face, you know.
Vulnerability, brother.
Exactly.
Like we are not conditioned, we are not wired.
I've been saying that word for like the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one thing that I've remembered that I've been saying for some time. Validation.
Validation, huh?
We all seek a certain validation. We need to be validated of a certain reason. Why was I fearing to talk to you, or was I closing up some things and I wasn't telling you everything? For one reason.
You want to
No, I
be
was
validated?
thinking on your behalf
Yeah.
because I wanted you to validate me in a certain way. I wanted you to perceive this person in this particular way.
Bro, it's...
Because you are every single thing opened and you are ready to help me with everything.
Yeah.
But would my mind space give me that? My mindset is seeing Cassandra's, the guy, probably after this you'd go think, what the fuck?
That guy is messed up.
Yeah, exactly. I am so sorry to use that word. It just slipped off my mind. If you can edit, fine.
No, this is raw and authentic. We keep it as is. Yeah.
You want to be validated in one way or another.
It's every human being's need. Me, you, everybody else. The only difference between a healthy human being is a healthy human being processes healthy validation. And healthy validation, it actually has to be internal. You have to give yourself that. You shouldn't be going out there asking people to appreciate and love you.
Exactly.
You should be giving yourself that. But every human being needs that. It's actually a need. You can't survive without.
Exactly. I have a small task. Just something to jog your mind.
Uh-huh. Bring it on.
So how do you find yourself?
How do I find myself?
Like you say, I am Cassandra's. So what defines that? How do you... Like most of the guidance that you'll be told by people that for you to be able to jump a certain obstacle, you need to find yourself.
Yeah.
So how do you find yourself?
How do I find myself? For me, first, I need to feel the present. I need to be here. You know what I mean? I need to be here and feel and experience what I'm feeling. Even if there's like a small wind blowing on my arm, I need to be very present and be able to process what is happening here. It's kind of like therapy. When you ride, bikers say biking is very therapeutical. The beauty of when people say biking is therapeutical, biking does not allow you to think about anything else apart from your riding experience. And actually, the second that you passed, you're not thinking about that. Your biking allows you to think about now. So I think for me, when I find me sitting on this couch, how it feels, I'm looking at Jay, are these pants comfortable? Like, that's how I find myself. And then the emotions, like how am I feeling? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling happy? And then I try to also question my feelings, like why am I feeling happy? Why am I feeling sad? And then, okay, if I'm feeling sad because of A, B, and C, is it something that I really need to deal with now, or is it something that needs attention in future? Like I think for me, I find myself by questioning.
Let me teach you something today. Something totally different. You know, you never find yourself. You're only aware of yourself. I will give you a simple advice, a simple example. You were concerned, let's say you said it's raw, so I can't say anything, yeah?
Yeah, it's
So
true.
even behind the scenes, what happened behind the scenes?
Yeah.
So you were concerned about the jacket,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yes.
Whether it was looking okay,
Yes.
but you wanted him
Yes.
to tell you
Yes.
how it looked like.
Yes.
You see, so you also seeked his validation.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So it mattered to him how it looked like.
Yeah.
So it also matters to your audience how your jacket looks like.
Yes. Yes.
So that's not you.
True.
You get?
Yeah.
We are only aware of ourselves, but we never find ourselves. Because, finding myself is whereby I accept I am Jay,
Yes.
Irregardless of how I look today,
Yes.
this is how my body feels. This is how Jay feels like. Irregardless of whoever will think about me, whatever way we want to think about it,
Yes.
that is how.
This is me.
This is me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, what I was just talking about the jacket is not literally,
Yes.
but it's just an example.
I get what you mean.
Because we leave our houses every single day when we wake up in the morning, dressed up, thinking about what somebody will think about my dress code.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Not how you
How
feel
you feel.
in that dress code. You can change 3 different pants.
Yes.
Simply not because you want to change the pants and they're comfortable with you.
No.
It's because how will people, if I strip naked right now here,
Yes.
in this scene, in this podcast,
Yes.
the first thing is, people will say here, I'm mad.
Yes. But are you really mad?
No, who is the mad person?
Now,
No, as I'm saying, between now us,
Yes.
who is the mad person?
that's an interesting one. I remember some times back there was a video that was going on, that was going viral, of a lady walking naked, and then whoever was next to me watching that video laughed and like, watu siku hizi wamechizi. And then for me, I was like, maybe she's more aware and she has some level of consciousness that what a normal human being cannot attain. I was like, you can't just, for me, I don't believe in trying to make people fit in our spaces.
No, I'm laughing.
Why?
I'm laughing because we live in a school called society.
Yes.
And there is expectations when it comes to society, first of all, how the society perceives us.
Yes, it's all about perception.
The society expects me as a man to wear a trouser. If I wear a skirt, I am abnormal.
Yes.
The society expects me as a man probably to shave.
Yes.
If I have long hair,
Yes.
it perceives me otherwise.
Yes.
Yeah?
You are dirty. You are not.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes.
You see, that's the perception that the society has. If probably I would strip my clothes here naked,
Yes.
it's because maybe something's itching my body.
Yeah.
But what goes through your head, first of all, is this guy is mad.
Yeah.
You've not asked me anything.
Yes.
But the first impression that you'll have is that this guy is mad.
True.
Between the two of us, you are the one who's mad.
Yeah, I get
Because
what you mean.
every single mad person thinks whoever thinks they're mad is
It's
mad.
the mad one. Yes, I get what you mean.
Exactly, because we only see things in different eyes.
Yes,
How I see as Jay is not how I expect you to see as Cassandra.
with our own filters. Yes, we have our
So
own
how I
filters.
feel when I leave home
Yes.
is not how I expect you to feel about me.
Yeah.
It's the feeling that starts with me.
True.
That's why I told you we can never find ourselves because we live in a society which is bound by rules.
I get what
We are
you
only
mean.
aware of ourselves.
I get what you mean. It makes sense.
You see?
Yes.
We are only aware of ourselves. And how I was able to get myself out of this situation, I needed to know who Jay is.
Who Jay is. Regardless of what people think,
Because I've never given myself a chance in my life to know who I am.
who is Jay?
Exactly. And that is the only moment that when I realize that it's the people around me. It's the same example that I've given you.
Yes.
It's the people around me who have a problem. It's not me who has a problem. It's only me. I'm living other people's problems.
Yeah. You're allowing them to
Exactly.
get into your
Your
head.
bitterness, I am leaving your bitterness.
Yeah.
Because I came from work, Cassandra was pissed about me.
Yeah.
I have taken that anger at home.
Yeah.
And I'm sat wondering, why did Cassandra get pissed off me? Did I do something wrong? Why is he talking to me? Remember, the same Cassandras went home and probably sleeping.
Yes.
You see? Because I am seeking a certain validation which doesn't make sense in my life.
True.
If I just take that statement as it is, take this water and go home.
Yes.
I will take water, go home. Stop thinking about where the water came from.
Very true.
So why are we thinking about other people's problems?
Because conditioned.
Yeah, we've been conditioned, but once you become aware of yourself, this is what happens, because that's what happened to me, is when I realized that also Cassandra is a human being and has his own problems.
Yes.
And probably that is just one of those days that Cassandra's, it was not his right day.
Yeah, it's his bad day.
That is his burden, not mine.
Yeah.
For me, I would ask myself, Jay, did you have a nice day? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That is the most important.
Yes, I get
And
it.
for me to get to that mental space, Cassandra's, was a struggle, me trying to take my own life almost 3 times. For me to jump that hurdle, to come and realize that whoever was doing this to me had already had a mental problem, not me.
Yeah. It's them
That person needs to
protecting.
deal with a mental issue.
It's them
The one
protecting.
inflicting on me. You get the
Yes.
person who's on the other person is the one person who has a problem, because you have a problem. You tried, because naturally, if I'm depressed, I'll become angry.
Yes.
Rage start making noise here. So if I'm making noise here, how is that your problem? Is that your depression or my depression?
It's your depression.
Exactly. It's me to deal with my own problems. So it's just finding a way to help them deal with their situation, not you dealing with yourself. You see, once you accept that it's I and I can't change.
Yeah.
And I cannot change everything and everyone around me.
I get it. So it's so important for people to actually turn down the voices of people in the society around them for a second.
Exactly.
For you to find yourself, especially when you're struggling. People need to learn to forego and let go everything. You remember you're talking about letting go. Like, people need to let go. There's this book that talks about the subtle art of not giving you know the book? The subtle art of not giving a fuck.
No.
You should read that book. You'll like. So the guy talks about. So the title kind of sounds harsh, but it's a very beautiful book. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. It's actually like, it teaches you what to pay attention to and what not to pay attention to. So to him, he has explained giving a fuck as things that you pay attention to. So if you give a fuck about what people say all the time, it will consume you. So the book teaches you what to give a fuck and what not to give a fuck. There is no point in your life where you will not be giving a fuck.
Exactly.
You will just be choosing and picking what to give a fuck. You give a fuck about yourself now. You get it? Now you forget about other people. So it's a very beautiful book you should pay attention to. And that is so important for people who are going through struggles, the mental health struggles. As much as it's a dark space you're in, as much as it's the hardest place, it feels so hard, complicated, it's not clear, try to forget everything that has to do with everybody
goes back
else.
to the same point. No one will ever save you.
Yes.
No one will ever save you. No matter how much counseling, no matter every single day you call me and you tell me, bro, it's okay.
Yeah.
It will never save me until I accept.
Wow, thank you so much for saying that. No matter how well-intentioned I am, and no matter how available I am, you have to initiate
it's
it.
me.
Yes,
It's
you
me.
have to initiate it.
You will speak to me 300 days. You will speak to me every single day. You will literally go to bed next to me every single day. But I'm the only person who makes that choice and decide, you know what, enough is enough. And I need to do this.
Holy moly.
Yeah, and I need to be in a certain... The minute I was able to turn that switch is the minute when I came to understand myself. The minute I came to understand the things that I wanted in life. You know, Cassandra, the small, beautiful things that I was actually overlooking in life, because I started manifesting things.
Yes.
After that, because remember, you were there during that situation. And I remember even there's a time that you sent me a job application. It's not because I could not do it.
Yeah.
But I looked for it and I was asking why.
Yes.
Why is it this is the only thing easier in my life to get a job?
Yeah. It's not your concern. It's not your priority. Right?
I don't even look for a job, but this is the easiest thing for me to get a job.
Yeah.
I don't get people in my life. I don't get love. I don't, Then also plus, on top of it, I'd surrounded myself with a lot of toxic friends and I didn't know.
Yeah.
And knowing that I had bought friends subconsciously,
Yes.
and these people should get this right, I had bought friends and we buy friends every single day, not unknowingly.
Every single day.
It's what you bring on the table
Yes.
and what you're offering at that particular moment. And probably you don't know. And that's the only thing that attracts them, that attracts them to you.
That's a nice what you've talked about. Buying friends. How do you know you're buying friends? You're buying friends when the only connection between the two of you is always something...
let's say tangible.
Something tangible.
Yeah.
Either
a favor.
Yes. Either it's a favor or it's lunch or you guys are only meeting when you're drinking.
Or I can call Cassandra's. Cassandra's out. Just hook me up with 2,000 now.
Yes.
And then we will sort it later.
Yes.
That's the kind of... But no one ever knows you.
Yes.
Come think about it. No one ever knows you.
Yes.
No one has ever sat down and wanted to know who is Jay. Taken that time. Because I isolated myself completely from everyone. I cut off everyone in my life and I decided, you know what, if I'm going to do this, let me do this on my own. Cassandra's, I sat down, manifested. Remember that thing, I'll always remind my son because that's the one thing that he told me 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah. So I started watching podcast and watching motivational in terms of causes, TikTok, you get preachers and guys manifesting.
Yes.
Then I started watching, I bumped into someone that I've never met in my life. We exchanged numbers, but we've never met even up to today. But he was a spiritual guidance. It's called Pastor T or something.
I don't know him.
I found him, I think, also online. He spoke about the demonic attachments that we have and the spiritual things that we need to deal with. He talked about now some of the problems that we have, we overlook. It's beyond our eyes. It's spiritual now. It needs to be dealt with in a very spiritual way.
Yes.
So you having your quiet moment with whatever you believe in, with your God, and paying attention to your body and exactly what is telling you and what exactly the universe is telling. So I was manifesting. So I had issues. Remember, my house was being locked. I paid off my hospital bill. I had left with nothing. I was struggling, man, to get food on the table.
You didn't have a place to stay.
I didn't have a place to stay.
You didn't have food.
My place had been locked, everything with clothes and everything.
Yes.
It was, I didn't have food. My son would sleep here today. The following day he would...
I remember you kept switching places because you can't even tell these people that you're staying with about your story.
Exactly. So, because if they start reacting funny, because that is how I was, I would move to another place. So I wrote a piece of paper and I told my son, and that particular moment that I told him, you know what? I believe one of these days, out of all these struggles, because I remember I left Nairobi, went to Machakos. This is something that most people didn't even know. Did kazi ya mjengo. I didn't do it because that was the only thing that I could do, but I did it because Machakos was not in Nairobi.
And it was a safer space.
People didn't understand that. And
it was safe for you. Yeah.
For me, I was running. This is my life. Again, I'm running away from something.
And if you had an opportunity to do mjengo in Nairobi, you would not
I would not do it. This is an opportunity that came. It was... First of all, how much was I even getting in a day? Was it 500 or 700, I think, in a day? For me to leave Nairobi, to go live in a space whereby it's an artificial structure where you have to shower, artificial structures where you have to take... I had to deal with snakes every single day. That's the first time I came in an encounter this close.
With a snake?
Slept with a snake in my bed. Not even bed. Because don't even call it bed. Because it was a throw-down mattress. It was this thick. And that gave me peace.
I know. I know.
Reasons being, I was not in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And I was away from all these things. Someone would think you're crazy. Why would you? How much money is taking you to Machakos? To you, you're seeing money. To me, I am seeing my problems that I am running away from it.
Thank you for painting that picture. There's a post that I saw on social media of somebody who had rented a house and he only had a mattress, a pillow, a blanket, and a small TV. And the comment was, sometimes this is how peace looks like. So I think we perceive life differently. Sometimes what will feel peaceful will look and feel disgusting to the normal eye.
Exactly.
Like people will look at you like, what? You're a piece of shit. Yet it's so peaceful to you.
Because for me, waking up, cooking with firewood, there was no electricity.
Okay.
For us to be able to charge our phone, we would walk, my friend, almost 8 kilometers, taking that phone and forgetting you have to walk back, get that phone.
Yes.
So you cannot turn on your data bundles. I wake up in the morning to this amazing sunshine. The sunset, that's the thing. You know, the guys, they are working so hard. For me, the peace of mind that I had, I felt like I could live here forever.
Yeah, it was so peaceful.
I could live here forever. I would sit down in the evening, watch the sun, look at the bear. You know, the struggles that I'm passing. Because it's the pain that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
This was how peace looked to me.
Holy moly. So peace, when people are looking and are searching for peace, I think one important thing that we should do is we need to really leave the rest of the world out of it.
Exactly.
We need to leave the rest of the world out of our peace. Because how peace feels to us is not how peace will feel like to me, for me and you. Even when we are the both of us, peace will feel differently compared to if you're alone and I'm alone. So we need to pay attention to how peace feels like when you are alone. There are so many people who are really struggling to move on from their ex-partners, from their wives, from their family member, from their jobs. Why? Because they feel like even though it will feel peaceful, it will look disgusting to the world. Fuck the world for a moment. Pay attention to your peace. If you living in a house that is a small, like a bed-sitter, from you moving from a 3-bedroom,
Imagine.
it will feel peaceful, go for it.
Imagine.
Because-
and that's how much it only takes.
And let me tell them what I told you. I told you in the past, you will laugh at your problems later on. And here you are laughing at your problems.
It's true. And because, you know, the reason why I'm even laughing is because I have never been in this mental state in my entire life.
You are at peace.
Exactly. I have never been so conscious of what I do in my entire life. Because we go back to the same word that I used, validation, because I was always wanted to get validated over certain reasons. I always wanted to be the best in certain things because I wasn't appreciated somewhere else. So I kind of feel like I have to be appreciated here. I have to go to whatever length to get appreciated here. At whatever cost that it would take. So remember, this is an F&B manager getting picked from home.
Yeah.
Now this is a guy who's in
Mjengo, getting
Was it-
700 bob.
Yeah, in Machakos. I have the bills already that I had at home.
Yeah.
Even if I worked in that Mjengo for 1 year,
Yes, you can't pay.
it would never have paid.
Yeah.
The bills that I had, it helped me at some point, but
Yes.
realistically, putting that money together, even if, because I was there for almost 2 or 3 months, I came back and I came back to my life. And I came back to the same problems. Is when I realized that, you know what, crap, snap. Dude, you need to sit down.
Yeah. Find you first.
I wrote a letter. I wrote a thing and I told my son, the one thing that he used to see me like watching houses in YouTube so much. And he'd be like, Dad, when there's nothing else that you're watching on YouTube, kila siku tu naona tu ni manyumba. And I used to tell him, Dad, one day, sisi tutakuwa kwa hii nyumba. Anacheka tu ananiambia, wewe na hizi manyumba zako wewe. I just let it be. Then I asked him, and then there is a funny question that he asked me. So what's your short-term goal in terms of hii manyumba wewe watch? I told him, I've been living in apartments for so long. So I would really want an own
Your
compound.
own space.
And then I'd already pictured and created all this. my own space, my own compound. I have dogs running around,
Yes.
and sitting down, having that coffee in the morning, seated outside in the compound.
Yeah.
So he laughed and, he told me, this is a joke. And I told him what? Power of manifestation. So the first time after I actually sued, may God forgive me and forgive my former landlord, because I took them to court in terms of now rent tribunal.
Yes.
Because that illegally, the process, yes, I didn't pay.
Yes.
But there was certain procedures that I must have used for them to have closed my house and us being out for that long. So we were able to get a court order. So eventually, cut a long story short, my house was opened. Eventually, when my house was opened, that's the first thing I wrote and put it on the fridge. And I used to say it every single morning. So he would get embarrassed about it. If someone else comes, he removes it.
Your son?
Yeah, he removes it. He gets embarrassed. So I'm asking him, this is a manifestation. Why are you removing it? These are the things that I want in my life.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dad, hizi ni vitu gani tena? Najua. It doesn't make sense to him.
Yes.
So a year down the line, the same way you told me, nitakumbuka, nitacheka, is the same year. I sit now here and I remind him and I laugh. Because now currently we live in an own compound house, a 3-bedroom, really nice own compound house. We have
Congratulations, my
5 dogs, not even one, 5 dogs.
Thank you so much.
So, and I told him now, remember, my manifestation, and I told you, what he told me 3 days, it was like almost 3 days ago. He told me, hey, Dad, when you put your mind into something, it seems like you go for it. And I told him that's the only way you perceive life. I didn't put it in my mind. It's because I became conscious, aware of my own mind and my own space where I needed to be at this particular point. Before, I had so much money to live in an own compound.
But you couldn't.
I couldn't.
Your mind was so
my mind
preoccupied with so much.
I think I didn't know what Jay wanted, I didn't. It took me to go to Machakos to know that I needed that fresh air.
Do you know how... You need to tell people how important letting go is.
Exactly, man.
Because you need to also emphasize, if you wouldn't have gone to Machakos and done the Mjengo job, you wouldn't have found yourself.
I wouldn't have found myself. I wouldn't have found... Letting go is extremely important because now I'm letting... There is now me and I'm letting other people's burden go away. Because I had issues with... I would say it with no fear or contradiction with people in my own immediate family that I decided, probably it's not me who has the issue, it's them who has the issue. So if I let them deal with their issues and I deal with my own issue, it becomes lighter. Because now I kind of look at people who I thought frustrated my life and I see how much pain they go through. I see the bitterness, the anger they have. And I see it's probably your upbringing. It's the same 10-year-old Jay what went through, was struggling with, that you didn't deal with yourself. Now that you didn't deal with yourself, you're projecting it to someone else. It's the same energy that I was driving through. My son, subconsciously not knowing. He has no problem. It's me who has a problem.
Thank you so much.
So once I became consciously aware of my mental state and where I want to be and where I am at this particular... I let it go. And I decided I cannot change everyone and everything around me. I can only change what I have and as much as I can.
Thank you so much, Jay. Now, you remember I told you, for us, we can't wrap it up in a day. So we have to do a series of this.
I told you it's a YouTube channel.
It's a YouTube channel. So this is the first episode. I think we'll wrap it up from there. And then we'll do a couple of more because I already segmented each and every.
My biggest moral of the story behind all this, I usually say, and I will say again and again, if I'm in a position mentally to help someone to get to a situation where I am right now today, I would be more than willing
to be there for them.
And just letting them know that you're not alone.
Thank you.
I cannot do it for you. You have to do it for yourself.
But you will be there.
I would be there, probably to guide you through.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
And
man.
I'm sure you didn't expect this.
I didn't expect this. Like,
You're like,
this was like
this nigga just day. Dude, life
no,
changes.
but I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
I was saying, it's a journey, but sad enough for me,
Yeah.
I would say I was mostly more there for myself than
Yes.
someone else was there for me.
Yeah.
So if anyone is going through, it's normal.
Yes.
It's normal to cry.
Yeah, let's normalize it.
Yeah, it's just the same debate that you had. It's normal to tell a fellow man, I love you.
I love and
It
you
goes-
remember when we call, I tell you, bro, more love. I love you, man.
I love you, man. It's simple.
Yeah.
And don't think beyond those words.
Yes.
I love you. Just
that's
yes,
it.
I am loved.
Don't overthink it.
I am loved and it's done. Because
Yes.
I do it with my son every single day and he's never gotten embarrassed.
Yeah.
Even to say me I love you too, Dad.
Yes.
Even in front of people.
Yeah.
Because I need to remind him every day.
The thing about yes. True.
Every single day
single day,
that
yeah.
you're loved.
Yeah.
You don't have to show African way at the actions.
Yeah.
Your actions are not mine.
Yes.
Probably I will never get it.
True. And also
Yeah.
we perceive things differently.
Yeah, so I really appreciate for the opportunity to come here.
Yeah.
Probably my manifestations I've seen. By the time I come back, my
Yes.
friend, I will be having a meal spending on a chair.
Anytime.
You should be saying amen. What are you saying?
Amen.
You're
bro.
manifesting, yeah.
Amen.
I appreciate, man, and mad love to anyone who's going through this.
Yes.
You're not alone, and people have gone through, maybe people have gone even through worse.
True.
Would have spoken about a lot,
Yeah.
but due
Yeah,
to time-
this is just the beginning, and what you've said is so important. Like, if any man is going through any mental health, you will be there for them. You won't do the work for them, but you'll be there for them. They have to initiate it. They have to do the work, but you be there as the bigger brother and just say, okay, this is how it works. This like you give them guideline.
Correct.
So thank you so much for coming, Jay. I really appreciate. And this has been the beginning of a series that we're going to release. There's a lot that you I think we need to find somebody who can write a book about you and we publish it.
No, because we're all looking for money. I can be a co-host.
Cool, you can be a co-host.
Yeah, so the days that you're taking your breaks,
Yes.
and me, I don't mind working.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming. This is the Naked Ego Podcast, a space where men are willing to strip down their ego and be authentic and vulnerable. Cheers.